You better prepare for $1 million Bitcoin, because this may actually be the most bullish signal in Bitcoin's history. Elizabeth Warren and Trump have united together to unleash the big print. That's right, the money printer is about to go burr like never before.
QE and infinity, they're going to print so much money it'll make your face melt.
Can you feel that down in your plums right now? Yeah, that's a parabolic run incoming. Almost nobody expects 500K Bitcoin over the next 12 months. Even most Bitcoiners. Maybe they don't know that the US Treasury just bought back $10 billion of its own debt. The largest buyback ever. If you're not bullish, by the end of today's episode, call a medic. And in other news, reports have circulated that US states may be plotting to seize your Bitcoin. What the hell is going on? We're breaking it all down today. Welcome back. I'm Rustin, and let's unleash the fury, shall we? Send it!
I'll tell you, a certain senator, Elizabeth Warren, said that she would never, ever allow a default on our debt. She would never let it happen, and she would like to get rid of the debt ceiling, what's called the debt ceiling. I call it the debt extension because we really need an extension, that she'd like to see that gotten rid of. And there are many people that agree. Many Democrats agree with that. But we gave that through, and I don't want to say an error. He did it well-meaning. They gave that to us. It was a Democrat problem just before the election. Would have had a huge impact on the election. And to our benefit, we won anyway, but to our benefit. But felt that really for the good of the country, we should extend that. But Elizabeth Warren and various other people would like to see that. Her whole career, she wanted to see it terminated, gotten rid of, not being voted on every 5 years or 10 years. And the reason was because it's so catastrophic for our country. And I always agreed with her. That was one thing I agreed with her on. Now, I haven't spoken to her, but I would say that if you asked her that question now, she'd say, no, it's their problem. But it's a very unfortunate situation. It's a very unfair situation. And she happened to be right on that. It should be gotten rid of, or it should simply be extended. But that's one of the things that gets taken care of in this bill. That automatically gets extended for a 4-year period, and it should be. But I agree with Elizabeth Warren on that. I think you should get rid of it. It's too catastrophic.
Red or blue, there is the state and there is you. What do you think of that? I think Newt Van Holm kind of nails it. And one thing we know for certain is that the fiat must flow. And now a nation, $37 trillion in debt, is ripping off the artificial cap to send the money supply to Valhalla. I mean, really though, where is the money coming from? Who is paying these people? Is this just one giant Ponzi scheme? Yes! And even the aliens know it's a giant Ponzi scheme. Where are they getting the trees to print this money?
Want to know what I found out the other day?
What did you find out the other day?
Did you know the entire Earth is $315 trillion in debt?
Whoa.
Yeah.
What?
Who do they owe money to?
Bro, who are they getting money from?
It blows my mind that first off, you have everything on the planet here to live for free.
You literally have everything you need.
And then you invent a system that creates a deterioration of your own resources.
You created a store of value that's literally storing less and less value every day. Every day.
And you're increasing your technology, and yet somehow you still owe money to someone, and it's $315 trillion. There's not enough paper to print that much cash. What are they doing?
Dude, Earth is like the worst meme coin. It's the worst.
It got rugged.
That was awesome. But the market thinks the Fed won't cut rates until September, and that's cute. Trump doesn't care. He's going to start printing money himself, straight from the Oval Office, with a monster spending bill so big, it'll make the New Deal look like a Costco receipt. They told you the money printer was locked up, but it never is. It's just waiting for a new operator. And guess what? The printer always wins. The money will always be printed. And if you're still sitting in dollars when that hyperinflation train leaves the station, God help you. Bitcoin is the escape hatch. Everything else, it's just paper on fire.
It's very possible we're going to break the power law model on the upside here in this cycle. I mean, I think this cycle hits 200 very easily. I think that's kind of a done deal. It could go a lot farther. We just don't know. I have every confidence gold will get to 5,000, 10,000, maybe 15,000. But while it's doing that, Bitcoin's going to go from 100,000 to a million, and from a million to 2 million. So let's say the government gets really aggressive and decides this Bitcoin thing's really killing us and we need to stop it. Let's do an executive order like Roosevelt's 6102. And it would really be easy for the government to do that because they would just call Fidelity, they call every major ETF, and the ETFs would be forced to comply by the law. There won't be a dollar value for Bitcoin because nobody will use dollars anymore. And that's where we're headed. Some would say that's 50 years out, and maybe they're right. I tend to think it's a lot shorter than that, a lot shorter. And you can ignore Bitcoin if you want to, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring Bitcoin because it's going to go to millions of dollars a coin. And if you knew about it and you didn't take the time to study it and think about whether that was something you wanted to do, you missed it.
Did you catch what Larry said about a 6102? That's a good segue into this bombshell that dropped yesterday. And X went ballistic. Now, it was first reported that California's new law would allow them to seize dormant Bitcoin left on exchanges after 3 years. Yeah, you can see what caused the uproar. Let's watch the clip and then go to what really is going on in California. And also Arizona passed a similar bill. Let's check it out.
File item 186, AB 1052 by Assemblymember Valencia. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1052 by Assemblymember Valencia, an act relating to digital assets.
Assemblymember Valencia, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Once again, muy buenas tardes, members. AB 1052 will establish a legal framework to legitimize digital assets, also known as cryptocurrency and blockchain, and unclaimed property law. California must protect consumer assets and embrace the legal recognition of digital assets, crypto, and blockchain as we continue to modernize our economy and the systems in our society. With that, I respectfully ask for a yes vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Valencia. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 69, no 0. The measure passes.
Okay, let's break it down. Is California going to seize your Bitcoin? California's AB 1052 does not mean the government will seize your Bitcoin. It applies unclaimed property rules to inactive exchange accounts, requiring assets be held, not sold, by the state. Your Bitcoin actually stays Bitcoin and can be reclaimed anytime. Okay, so under the former law, this is what would happen. They would liquidate and a person could retrieve the dollar value of their holdings at the time they were taken and liquidated. Now they're going to take the asset, the state's custodian will hold it, and that property can be claimed and moved to the holder. Now we are talking about the state here, and if that doesn't put you at ease, well, it shouldn't. You heard Larry say how easy a 6102 could be carried out, and there is a simple, easy, tried and true way to ensure that never happens to you. We're about to bring it home, but before we do, look at our likes.
3 or 4 times, maybe. I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and give us a pamp while we take a moment to recognize our sponsors powering this show over at the Bitcoin Way. Make sure your generational wealth is never seized. Learn how to run a node and don't get caught holding IOUs and paper Bitcoin. Refuse to be placed in a digital gulag and get your Bitcoin off exchanges. Self-custody is the revolution. Visit thebitcoinway.com and begin your journey towards Bitcoin sovereignty today. If you're looking to get started, you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation using that link in the show notes. My friends, are you feeling lost and alone in fiat clown world? Well, the Orange Pill app has got you covered. The Orange Pill app is the single largest repository of Bitcoin-only events in the world. Connect with over 16,000 other Bitcoiners in real life. Bitcoin is better with friends, and now you can zap them instantly all in one app. What are you waiting for? Download the Orange Pill app today, go hit a meetup, and who knows? The connections you make could last a lifetime.
Thought this is insane. But here we are, it's going up. And I think, it's still early days in the sense of just numbers, because I think it's it's not a matter of consumer adoption. It's not a matter of how many people download the iPhone, how many people download a Bitcoin app. For me, it's about the size of the cash balances more than the number of people. And so you can look at the size of the cash balances that are in dollars. There are, or dollars or dollar-based currencies, which are all the other fiat currencies in the world. You've got around $100 trillion in fiat currencies. You have another $100 trillion in bonds, and you have something like another $30 trillion in gold and some other assets, maybe real estate and stocks. Some of that you could think of as being a cash substitute, which Bitcoin is competing with. So I would say the total market for a monetary asset is about $300 trillion. Bitcoin's already at 2 trillion, which is, impressive, because in 15 years, going from 0 to 2 trillion is the fastest that we've ever seen. We've never had an asset, anything, grow this fast. So it is quite impressive, but still got a long way to go. And I would say you could say that Bitcoin is the monetary standard of the world when it is the largest of these assets, probably around something in the range of 100 trillion or so. So still a while away. But with Bitcoin, you never really know how long it could take. That could be another few months, because we've seen these crazy pumps in Bitcoin. But most likely it's not going to be a few months. Most likely it's going to be several years. And that's fine. I think it's a process that needs time. People need to accumulate cash balances. People need to become more familiar with how to use Bitcoin. And I think over time, it's just inevitable, because the people who accumulate Bitcoin will witness the value of their cash balances increase, whereas the people who don't accumulate Bitcoin will witness their cash balances decrease in value.
The big print is coming, and I think you know who the fastest horse in the race is going to be. Trump's plan: remove debt ceiling, print trillions of dollars. See the price of Bitcoin smash $1 million? Buy billions in Bitcoin. Looking at both of these, it looks like one of these scenarios is going to play out, and you know what that means. How does it go? The first nation to print their own currency to buy Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is the future, and you probably want to get on board early. There's an interesting thing that could happen sometime in the next couple of years, which is one country with a fiat currency just starts printing the shit out of their fiat currency and buying Bitcoin with it. And if you're the first one to do that, then you can accumulate a massive stack of Bitcoin before everyone else catches on.
This was not complicated. Now let's say you're an indebted country. You're actually in debt. You're running a deficit. You owe a lot of money and you're struggling. Your interest rates are high and you don't know what to do. Well, here's your strategies. Are you a normie or a 10%er or a maxi, double maxi, or triple maxi? The maxi is you put a third of your treasury into this. A double maxi is 65%. And a triple maxi is put all your treasury into it and start issuing debt. The subtext of this is the first country to buy Bitcoin by issuing its own currency wins. This is simple.
If I am elected, it will be the policy of my administration, United States of America, to keep 100% of all the Bitcoin the U.S. government currently holds or acquires into the future. We'll keep 100%. I hope you do well, please. This will serve in effect as the core of the strategic national Bitcoin stockpile.
The prophecy is being fulfilled. So let's get this straight. The U.S. Treasury just executed the biggest debt buyback in American history. Trump's ready to pull the pin on the debt ceiling and go full nuclear with a new deal on meth-sized money printer. Elizabeth Warren is cheering from the sidelines. And states are apparently sniffing around for dormant Bitcoin like it's an unclaimed inheritance from your dead grandma. Do you really think this ends with a soft landing? Oh no! This ends with $1 million Bitcoin, and that's just phase one. Because once the big print hits, the last thing you want to be holding is $1 or worse, someone else's Bitcoin IOU.
If we're in a sovereign debt crisis, and I think we are, and if we're going to have a lot of inflation, I think we do, and if we're going to go to have a monetary reset, there are going to be real winners and losers. And you're not going to get a do-over. You're not going to get a do-over. It's not going to be like, oh gosh, I missed it, maybe I'll, it's like we could wake up one day and the government could say, we're going to a gold standard, we're taking the price of gold up to $20,000. Well, you either own gold and gold mining stocks or you don't. They're going to go up enormously. Same thing with Bitcoin. I mean, the U.S. could say we're going to do a strategic Bitcoin reserve and the Bitcoin price could triple. Well, if you don't have any, you don't benefit from that. So there will be, because of the risk of monetary debasement and the fact that there will be no do-over, I would just strongly encourage all of your listeners to have some allocation of their wealth into things that the government can't print. The government can't print gold, government can't print silver, government can't print Bitcoin, and the government can print dollars, and they're going to print a shitload of dollars, in my opinion.
So what do? You get your keys, you run your node, you opt out, and you hodl like your freedom depends on it, because it does. And don't forget to grab tickets to Mining Disrupt 2025. That's right, they're at it again. The biggest Bitcoin mining conference on the planet is headed to the Bitcoin mining capital of America and possibly the world, Dallas, Texas. Get ready, Bitcoin is taking over November 11th through the 13th. The Simply team will be on site and we hope to see you there. So grab those tickets today and use promo code SimplyBitcoin for 20% off. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and give us a pamp by sharing the Sound Money Gospel. And don't forget to set those notifications for the best in Bitcoin news delivered to you daily. Keep your head on a swivel, because Dante and Oceans have a lot of bangers coming your way. So stay tuned. If you ain't bullish, you're foolish. Love you guys. Catch you next time.
If you prefer to go down with the ship, you.